Hello all, I hope everyone is well. Welcome back to my channel. I'm back after a long time. I had some health issues. So today I'm back with a very interesting SQL video and I'll be posting some questions from now on because I was off for some 1 month or something. So let's see like what today's problem says. Then we will jump into the solution and I'll give the data to the description box so you can try and post your solution. So let's see what the problem says first and then we will see how to solve it. Okay, so the problem is here is basically I have created this data is like we have like 4 columns: ID, date, and invoice and amount. So how you can read that is, so we have two IDs. Basically we have two IDs and we have dates and we have invoiced and we have amount. So it's a sales data. It's a, you can say, and so you can say that if the invoiced is 0, and we have two categories basically, invoiced is 0 and 1. I don't know the meaning of like what is 0 and 1 means. Just think of like we have only two categories with 0 and 1, and we have some amount. I have taken some amount, and what you need to create here is the output would be like for, let's say, like if you see for AAA ID, right, we have invoiced 1 and 0. We have two ones, right? So this one and this one, right? And for BBB also we have two ones, right? This one. So how you need to look at the data is like, see, for AAA and you know for March, 1st March, basically invest 1 and the amount is 40 is nothing but take that row and add up to the beginning, not up to the beginning, till the point where the invoice will be 0, sorry, invoice will be 1. Okay, so basically how you need to read is like, if you see this one, right, like uh, the month of uh, June, right? In the month of June, how you need to read it is like, take the add, I mean, you need to add that row with the previous row till the point it is 1. Okay, so that means you need to add these 3 rows. So basically 30, right? So when that value, when this value, I mean, invoice value will be 1 again, right? It will be counted as a new row. So for this one, if you see for this one, it has to get added till the beginning because there is no value which is 1 in the invoice column. So you need to add these 3 values, right? If we had 1 here, right, so that would be a new row, correct? So in this case for AAA, right, for this one, in the month of June, we have the amount which is 10, and you need to add till this, right, till April, because in the March the invoice value is becoming 1, so this will be a new row, right? So this is a new row. So how it would be like in the month of March, it has to be 10 plus 15 plus 15, right? It's nothing but 40. For the month, in the month of March, it would be like 10 plus 10 plus 10, right? It has to be 30. Okay, so in that way, so I hope this is clear, right? So we can jump into the solution. Okay, so how you need to create it. Okay, so it can be solved in multiple ways. I can solve it in a very simpler way. I know that there are multiple ways to solve it, so I'll give the data to the description box so you can try and post your solution in the comment section so for me to view. Okay, so now so I have created the data, right? So if you see, so this is the data, the same data, and I will be taking a very simple, I'll take a very simple step to solve it. So if you think, sorry, if you think that, so the first step would be, so think about it, like for this AAA, right? So if we can somehow, like if you see, if you look at this one, okay, so if you can somehow tell that which are the rows that I need to add, like if you see, um, let me tell you here. So here, if you see this sixth, right, it will, these 3 will be added, right? So if you can somehow create a value or date or something, right? Let's say if I can say this date is like this, right? This three basically. Let me do this. So if I say this three, right? So I'll get a column. Okay, so I can create a column which can group these three values, right? So we have a, let's say we have a date column here. Okay, so if you can create a date column which has the same values, not this, I mean, it should be a same value, right? Yeah, like this, right? So let's say 06 and yeah, 06. Yeah, yeah. So if we can create something like this, 0106 2020, so we can group these three values, right? And then we can add it, right? We can create a group aggregation on this amount column, then we can group it and we can get the value, right? So anyhow we need to create a date column or any type of column. So you need to create a column which can group these three values under that ID. So that is the intention. So for that what we can do is, the first step would be, so first step would be select star, okay, comma, select star, comma, um, let's say first value, let's say I'm taking first value for each group, right? So first value of date, okay, for each group, right? So over for each group, then you need to give a partition by what? ID, order by date, okay, and as you can say date first or something like that, whatever, from the table name tblSales, right? So we get the first value. So if I run this, so we get the first value, date first. I mean, this is the first date of each and every ID. So this is 0101, and for BBB this is 0505, right? So you get the first value. Now put that into a city with, give a name like uh, first date or something, first date, right? Something like that. Okay, so this, okay, so we create this, okay, so we have created the first value, and the next step would be, let's run this. You can see how, so first date, right? So if I run this, we'll get the same output, right? Now the next step would be, um, we only need this, I mean, we only need when the invoice equals to 1, right? Not the zeros one. So we can say, okay, we can say where invoiced equals to 1. Okay, so if I run this now, so you can see these are the 4 columns, right, where the invoice equals to 1. Now what I'm going to do here is I will create I'll create a lagged version of the date. So what I mean is, so let's say lag of date, okay, comma 1, okay, over partition by, just follow it, then I'll explain, partition by ID, order by date, okay. I can give a name as lag date, okay. So if I run this now, if I run this now, what is happening? So I created a lag date, okay. So it's basically like this value come here and this value will be here, right? You know, right, how lag works, I believe. So I have created a lagged version of it, right? Now the next step would be, so if you remember here, right? So we need to take from 06 to 04. So we should not include this, right? If you remember, we just need to include this when the invoice value is becoming 1. Like if you go back and when the invoice value is becoming 1, so till that point you need to take, but this row will be excluded. So you need to take this 3, right? When it is becoming 1, so we should not calculate that one. We should not take into action, right? We should not take into consideration. I mean, this row will not be there, so it will be like this 3 values, right? So for that, so 03 will not be there. So this 03, I mean, I'm just creating a bucket. So bucket like 06 to 03, right? This is a bucket, right? So 03 will not be included. It has to be 04, right? So for that, you can do it in a very, I mean, you can do it in different ways, but what I prefer is, let's just give a date add and give a month, okay, and add 1. So that will do your trick, right? So if we add this, if we add 1, so it has to be 0, 4, right? So if I run this now, it will become 0, 4, right? So you get the bucket, but the problem is you get null also. So for that cases, in those cases, right, when there is null, so it will be the first value, right? When this is null means this will be exactly the first value, right? So that what you can do is you just do what I can do here is just create a coalesce function, COLESE, coalesce function of what? Lag, because you need to keep the lag date first. Because how coalesce works is if the first value is null, take the second value, right? If you remember. So what I'm gonna do is I'll keep this one in the first argument, and the second argument would be date first. Okay, so I'm just giving date first. So that means when this is null, when this value is null, which is this, take the date first. If it is not null, then consider this one only, right? This will be this value, right? So now clear. So and give the name as date to check. Okay, so now if we run this, okay, if we run this, we'll get this one 0, 3. So we have got the bucket, right? If you see 0, 3 to 0, 1, right? So if you see 0, 3 to 0, 1 and 0, 6, 0, 6 to 0, 4, right? So if you see 0, 6 to 0, 4, so we have got a bucket now, right? So when we have got a bucket, so our task is very simple. Now put that into a CT. Okay, so put that into a CT, and now the next step would be just to calculate the values, right? So now give select. I'll add the columns names later. Let me write down the uh, you know uh, the from clause. So my intention would be the next step. My intention would be take this data. Sorry, what I did. Okay, take this data and join this data with this data to calculate the amount, right, or the sum amount. So for that, so I'm going to add tblSales, it's the main data as A, and join this with the CTE from the previous step on A dot ID equals to B dot ID, and there is a filtered condition. The filtered condition would be, if you think carefully, so take the A dot date, like take this date, okay, so A dot date, right, between, let me write it down, I'll explain, between these two dates, right, correct? So between B dot date to check and B dot date. That means, so so how this will be happening is, let me take, so if you think, let me take B dot ID. Okay, so I'm taking from this area, right, from this table. So I'm taking B dot ID. Let's take B dot date. Okay, take B dot invoiced and take A dot amount. So that means how it's working. Basically, you are taking this. Just think about this B dot ID, right? So it will be coming from here. B dot date, this one. B dot invoiced is this one. So these three will be joining with, by this condition, these three will be joining with these three values, right? Think carefully, right? Again, so this value, these three values, because of this condition, right? A dot date between and this two dates, right? So 6-1 and 4-1. So which dates are getting satisfied? These three are getting satisfied, right? So this three will be coming in the output, right? So if I run this now, you can see for ID 0301, right, and invoiced 1, we get this three values 0, 10, 15, 15, right? So this three. Again, for this 0601, we get this three values. So somehow we have got a kind of a date by which we can group the data. Now it is very simple, right? So we have got similar dates, right, for these three columns, right? So now it is very simple. Take the sum of this, okay, put as amount, okay, and give a group by of these three, right? Right. Now, if I run this, basically, we should get the result, right? This is something that we are expecting, right? This 140, 130, 160, 160, right? Okay. So this is basically like this is our intention. So to create a kind of a date by which we can group the data. So right now we don't have any, because these four columns, basically we don't have any kind of a dates or something by which we can group it. But our intention was to create a kind of a date or any kind of row number, whatever it is, create something and then group it. Okay. So I have explained it step by step, basically. So you just take the knowledge from here and try to create your own script and share it with me or in the comment section. So I think there will be a very better solution than mine, because I have tried it. I have broken down the code and steps and tried to explain it how it works, and I just gave you an idea like how it works. So better you just try it from your end, and I believe that there will be very better solution, much better solution than mine. Okay, so okay then I hope this is clear how it works. And yeah, so if you like the video, share it with your friends and let me know how you felt about the solution. And then again, we'll meet in another session. Till then, thank you. Goodbye.